It's not like we're pigeonholing Rolex. It's not like Rolex had no chance to succeed during this release. This was kind of a soft pitch for them. This was something they could have absolutely knocked out of the park. This was something that they totally could have just slam dunked by doing something with the Explorer 2. They chose nothing. This softball pitch that we did, they chose to just let it go by, and for that, I mean, their own comment section is proof. They get what they deserve. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. It's fairly early in the morning. I'm gonna tell the time in a moment here, but my phone already immediately like ringing off the hook, buzzing nonstop, and it's not because I'm some hyper popular internet celebrity. I am all those things, but it's Rolex release day, and everyone has something to say. Let's just get right into this. It is 5:48 a.m. Let's get down to business. Rolex release day. A day all of us look forward to with bated breath, I will say, because we don't know if we are going to get something incredibly exciting or we're just going to be disappointed once again. There seems to be a bit of mixed reviews already in the comment section of Rolex's social media. Let's take a look. Made for exploring on a Segway. Hashtag fail. Nothing says rugged and outdoors like two-tone. What a monumental disappointment. This is disappointing, not gonna lie. I often think when I'm up in a mountain or in a cave, I really wish my Explorer had more gold. Huge disappointment. Sick face, puke face. But perhaps my favorite comment of the morning, no! Sad, 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 sad. Yeah, see? Tricked ya. No real mixed reviews in the comment section of Rolex's social media. It seems like the common consensus is Rolex has disappointed us once again. Now, I'm gonna try to have an open mind here because, you know, the comments I just read alluded to what Rolex has done this year, 2021. But let's talk about what they've given us and why people are kind of down in the dumps. So everyone was very excited this year, specifically 2021, because it's a fairly big anniversary for a watch that a lot of Rolex enthusiasts are very fond of, the Rolex Explorer 2. Now, a bunch of people have every iteration of the Explorer 2 out there, whether you're a huge baller collector and you own a 1655 Steve McQueen, that would be the original Explorer 2, and again, that has an orange, essentially 24-hour hand. It's not a GMT complication on that watch. Or maybe you want, you know, the polar dial variant of a 16570 or the black dial 16570 with that red GMT hand. Again, I have the polar dial variant of that. Or maybe you wanted something a bit more modern and you picked up a 16570, which is another GMT. It has the orange GMT hand and it was bumped up to 42 millimeters. But again, this 50th anniversary this year, we wanted something different. You see, the Explorer 2 was kind of a big deal. It was a GMT complication that was a bit more attainable than the GMT Master series, and it was also meant to be a bit more robust. It didn't have an actuated bezel, didn't have any moving bits on the outside of the watch. It was rough and tumble. It was meant for freaking cave-dwelling spelunkers. So I know the white dial variants of the 16570 initially didn't do super well. Now, I mean, that's kind of the watch to get. The prices have skyrocketed, but still, with a watch that has such a cult following, especially for it being the freaking 50th anniversary, like we were very excited to see what Rolex would do. People were speculating ceramic bezel. People were speculating that they would drop it back down to the 40 millimeter case. I knew that was never gonna happen. But I said, you know, they'd probably give it the current GMT movement and, you know, they'd probably put it on like an Oyster Flex strap or something stupid like that. So again, big year, 50th anniversary for the Explorer 2. What did Rolex do? Well, they gave us a two-tone Explorer. That's right, guys. For the 50th anniversary of the Explorer 2, we got a two-tone, or a Rolex Explorer 1. Now, it's cool, like, if we look at it just on the surface, it is a cool looking watch, okay? And it's really, really cool that they're exclusively releasing these Explorers at 36 millimeters. That's great. That's how that field watch was designed. That's how it's supposed to wear on the wrist. And let's face it, guys, the Oyster case wears much larger than it measures on paper. So the dimensions, great. It being a Rolex, it looks cool. But when we look back at the people's reaction in the comment section, it makes sense. It's like, hold on. This is your field watch. This is your rough and tumble offering. When I'm in a cave or in the field, nothing screams durability like some soft, precious metal. It's just a confounding decision on Rolex's part. Like, you'd think that for such a big mark, like in history, the 50th anniversary of a really beloved watch, why Rolex Explorer 1? I get it, okay, I'll be the first one to say Rolex doesn't, nor should they, care about us. They don't need to do necessarily what we say. It's not like they stay up at night worrying about our opinions of them. And again, they shouldn't. However, it is a bit impressive how little they consider what their consumers are asking for. Because again, ever since 2019, people were speculating what Rolex was going to do with the Explorer 2. So it's not like Rolex is unaware of what we want. They had time to release another 50th anniversary rendition of the Explorer 2. They knew that a lot of people were talking about it. They knew what we were expecting. There's no way they were ignorant of our expectations, but what led them to want to do something to the Explorer 1? So again, the Explorer 1 exclusive at 36 millimeters, that's great. I absolutely freaking love that. The Rolex Explorer 1, confusing decision, looks cool. I don't know why you would get one over the full stainless version. It doesn't really make sense to me. But now let's go ahead and look at what they actually did to the Explorer 2. I'll give you a hint, nothing. Now again, I don't want to say I told you so, but in a couple videos now, I did say Rolex is probably just going to put the new GMT movement into the Explorer 2, and that's exactly what they did. They're going to give the Explorer 2s the most current GMT movement from Rolex. Rolex is more likely than not going to disappoint us once again this year, but leave me a comment, guys. I honestly thought they would at least do something else. But no, that's literally where they stopped. They gave it the caliber 3285 and they called it a day. They were like, 50th anniversary, just put in that movement. We're done. So that's what I think most people are talking about, and I think that's why the comment section on Rolex's debut Instagram posts are not looking great. Now, there are some other releases that Rolex did, and I gotta say, I don't totally hate them. Now, you've also heard me say in numerous episodes that I think meteorite dials are like gross. They were like a fad in 2018, 2019, and then when that Pepsi meteorite dial came out, I just thought it was disgusting. But this new Everose Daytona with the kind of lighter, not quite slate, it's like a gray meteorite dial. I think that looks pretty nice, honestly. Again, I haven't seen it in person, but from their media photos, I don't hate it. So they have the white gold, again, white gold, black ceramic bezel meteorite dial. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I don't absolutely hate it. But honestly, this Everose meteorite dial looks pretty dang slick. I will not complain about that. And I'm very happy to say that they did not bump up the Oyster case on the Daytona, or Cosmograph, whatever you want to call it. They didn't bump it up to 41 millimeters. So we do have to give them some credit there. Good job. So we looked at the bad with the Explorer and the Explorer 2. We looked at the good with this Daytona. Now we got to go back to the bad. What the heck is Rolex doing with this weird leaf jungle dial on their 36 millimeter Datejust? I don't get it. they're pushing this one hard too. It's all over the website. It's all over social media. I think it looks like a toy. It looks like a sticker or something. This is not the type of dial I think of when I think of Rolex. It looks silly. And it's weird because, you know, again, you have the Explorer, right? The Explorer is supposed to be your exploration watch. And they keep pushing the exploration. Ooh, this is tough. They keep talking about it. They were teasing it since last week. They literally had a dude rappelling down into like a cave. So they were talking about like tough stuff. And then they release a Rolazor. That's like the antithesis of durability and toughness. But again, with all this exploration, they give the jungle pattern to the Datejust. I don't get it. And you don't need to get the green dial jungle pattern. You can also get that weird leaf pattern in two-tone in the Rolazor Datejust with the fluted bezel. I hate it. I do hate that. But one thing I like, because again, we're kind of going bad, good, the fluted dial. Yes, I said fluted dial. When we think of fluted on Rolex, we think of the bezel, right? The kind of not quite serrated, nice, elegant, used to be called engine turned. But now these fluted bezels, beautiful, have no issue, but they have that fluted pattern in kind of a check staggered pattern on the dial, and I think it's super dynamic. I think it's gorgeous. I've seen it in blue so far. I've seen it in gold. I've seen it in this kind of gray. I think it looks incredible. So Rolex did a great job with that. Real quick, I want to read something funny that I just saw on Rolex's website. Has a little picture of I'm saving this for my editor. It has a little picture of a sample of that meteorite dial, and it says, meteorite comes from the heart of an asteroid or possibly even a planet that has exploded, propelling material across the solar system until chance brings it into our planet's orbit and gravity pulls it to Earth. How romantic. The moon is flat, guys. The moon is flat. I don't want to get into this. It's a little bit too early. We all know Jews are reptilians. Ever since I had my bar mitzvah, they gave me a key card. I go to the flat side of the moon. Bada bing, bada boom. They talk about all the world's banks. You know, we deal with things over there. And all these people that are like flat earthers, they don't know what they're talking about. We went to the moon. It's just that the moon is flat. And this episode's demonetized. Is it really a time teller rant if I don't talk about reptilians and flat moon? Let's be honest. Hashtag flat moon. Hashtag flat moon in the comment section right now. We gotta get the word out. So there you kind of have it, guys. It's a confounding release. It's a disappointing release. I assume Rolex is gonna come out with more media stuff on social media within the next few hours. Again, it is like, let's see. Yeah, it's 6:06 a.m. right now. Wow, I told the time twice in this episode. That was a little freebie for you guys. So we're still early, but so many people are blowing up my phone that they expected a rant, because literally when I commented on Rolex's social media, and the first response on my comment was rant. So I got you, buddy. We're doing it for you. So yeah, this is how I feel. I think that it was such a confusing decision to give us a Rolazor Explorer 1 and yet do nothing with the Explorer 2. Because again, everyone in the watch world had a pretty solid expectation that Rolex was going to do something with the Explorer 2. I think the most common thought was that they were going to give the Explorer 2 a ceramic bezel, which is hilarious because I was complaining that the ceramic bezel would be too vulnerable against knocks and bumps, because again, ceramic's great for like sand and scratches, like surface stuff, but when you start knocking ceramic, it chips, it cracks, and it shatters. So I was like, oh, I hope they don't do that with the Explorer 2. But when I said don't do that with the Explorer 2, I didn't mean do nothing with the Explorer 2. So what does Rolex do? They just give they make the Explorer 1 Rolazor? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm sure that spelunker that was rappelling down into a deep crevasse is going to look at his two-tone freaking Rolex and be like, yep, this is exactly what I want. while it's rubbing up against the carabiners and all these straps and this gear and the stalactites and the stalagmites when he's crawling through. I'm thinking of The Descent, guys. I'm thinking of The Descent. By the way, I saw that in theaters and I thought that it was it was stupid. It was not a great movie. It was scary at the time, but it's not a great, like, what happened at the end there? Like, are we supposed to believe that her friend that double-crossed her lives at the end? That jump scare, you know, when the main character gets back to her car and there's that jump scare. Like, was it a ghost? Was it all in her mind? Or is she going crazy? Is she actually still in the cave and it was just all a mental thing? I don't know. But those girls that were in The Descent, I bet you they wouldn't wear two-tone. They'd want something a bit tougher. They'd want solid steel, or they'd probably just wear freaking G-Shock like me. You know, the big bummer, dude, is I was gonna do this whole montage of the Explorer 2 and be like, oh, the 16570, my beloved watch. Look at this new Explorer 2. Well, here's kind of where it started. I was gonna show the 16555 and then the 16570 and then the 2 16570 and then whatever they were gonna release. But now I'm just not gonna do that because, I mean, they literally did nothing with the Explorer 2 outside of a movement they already had. So I don't want to keep repeating myself. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I wanted to get it out there for you so that all the people inevitably writing to me for the rest of the week, I can just link them this episode. And yeah, little midweek rant. Hope you don't mind. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this episode and you enjoyed these types of rants, we do one pretty much every single Friday. So make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon if you haven't already so that you get notified when we upload. If you want some extra content and you want to interact with me and my close, like my regular viewers, then go ahead and hit the join button next to the subscribe button because you get access to the members only Discord chat, and you'll be doing two things. You'll be supporting the channel because it's like YouTube's Patreon. It's $4.99 a month, but you'll also be supporting the channel by interacting with like my channel regulars. It's all my channel members. There's a few hundred of them now. We hang out on the Discord chat. We talk about things like obviously watches, current events, photography, food, working out, the stock market, things like that. And we do a weekly meetup every Thursday. It's like a big Zoom call, and it's a whole lot of fun. We just talk about whatever we want. So join that. And yeah, check out all the affiliate links in the description below. Check out my personal website, thetimetellershop.com. And we have some new things in the works for the Time Teller brand. Stay tuned. I'm very excited for that because the release that I'm going to be doing here in the near future, I'm not going to give you too much information, but what I'm going to be showing you guys soon is going to be way cooler than what Rolex just did today. It's just a huge bummer. So yeah, that's what I'll leave you with. So stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. Let me know what you think about this whole Rolex release in the comment section below. And you know, the last thing I want to say is I don't want to make it seem like Rolex had no chance of making us happy. That sounds really depressing. What I'm trying to say is it's not like we're pigeonholing Rolex. It's not like Rolex had no chance to succeed during this release. This was kind of a soft pitch for them. This was something they could have absolutely knocked out of the park. This was something that they totally could have just slam dunked by doing something with the Explorer 2. They chose nothing. This softball pitch that we did, they chose to just let it go by, and for that, I mean, their own comment section is proof. They get what they deserve there. So yeah, that's what I'll say. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. I'm going back to sleep.